Like for me, because that was the first thing that you were asking, is like, man, the biggest hurdle right now is I need to figure out where to hire people. It's hard to find good work, but I need someone to do the deliverables to free up my time so I could work on my business rather than working in the business. And you want to be able to onboard new clients. But the only time that I would hire people is if I had the need. Like if I was completely at capacity, with what we're doing, we're making good enough money. Because if you're at capacity, you should be making enough money to where you can afford to hire somebody like as a staff person. And what happened was I was, hiring freelancers to do certain projects. So like, if I find myself constantly trying to hire a freelance graphic designer, that's an indication that I should probably hire a graphic designer as an employee, right? And so that's like a couple of months of me being able to hire freelancers and outsource some of the work to where it's like, man, this is a consistent thing. I have to just bite the bullet and hire an employee so I have a little bit more control of their time. So I never was quick to hire. That's what I'm trying to say is like, I didn't want to hire to where I have an employee now that's an overhead expense and a commitment that you have to make in your business to where it's like, I have to now bring in enough business to afford this person. It should be the opposite way around, to where the business dictates your need to hire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So I guess that's why I've never hired anyone, because if I have, then I wasn't sure where the new business was going to be coming from. Yeah, I guess
my hunch, Rob, is that you're not at work capacity. I don't know. Maybe you are though, but my hunch is that because if you're working on one project every 2 to 3 months, what are you doing with how much of your time? Because that's 40 hours a week to work on one project. You know what I mean? And if you're doing that for 8 weeks, it seems kind of a long time.
So basically, I've only been working part-time on the business.
What I would recommend is not focusing on hiring right now yet. I mean, if you have a project that requires you to have a certain design aesthetic that is outside of your wheelhouse and you need to hire an a freelance graphic designer or something to do like a custom typeface or something like that, then obviously that you can do that. But you're not at the level of busyness to where you need to be thinking about building a team yet. You need to be managing your time in such a way to where you put it in your schedule to work on your business development, to where you now are forced to hire people because you're so busy. You're not at capacity yet, right? So if you're working on one project for every 2 months, that's definitely a part-time thing. I wouldn't think about necessarily hiring on people yet. What I would focus on is building business development and then having the influx of work tell you like, hey, you actually should hire somebody now. When you get to that point, then it's a little bit easier. Because you have enough income to be a little bit more selective as to the people that you're going to hire. When it comes to hiring freelancers, there's a way to do that, right? You're in some groups online, right, with other creatives. It's really easy for people, for you to look at their work and say, hey, I really like your work. Are you able to take on work or take on projects? One way I've done that is through Instagram and following hashtags. So if I'm working with a fast casual dining restaurant and they it turns out in their brand strategy that we should probably do some like handwritten typeface, like hand lettering. I need to find a hand lettering artist. Then I'll go to Instagram, hashtag hand lettering, graphic design, whatever those hashtags might be, and look at people's work. And I've actually hired a lot of people that way, and their work is there and they're a lot more affordable than you might think. And you just start the conversation, say, hey, are you taking on new work? What's your process like? How long of a turnaround time do you typically have? What's your cost? And then you extend that cost over to the client. So you're profitable, you know what I mean? And that might include increasing your rates. And then it might do you good to where you hire someone to like a freelance WordPress developer or Webflow developer or something like that. And they could turn around the website based off of your brand guides and direction in a few days.
yeah, I think that's something that I've had in my mind. So if I can give them like the design direction, say, all right, this is what we're aiming for, after the identity stuff is like sorted, definitely like take a load off there.
Yeah, start there, and then on your next project that comes in, maybe increase the cost a little bit, to account for bringing on a freelancer, just so that you have the experience of what that's like to hire someone to work with. When it comes to graphic design, that's a little bit easier. When it comes to web design, I would be a lot more selective as to who you choose. Maybe think of going to Upwork because people get ratings there and you could see what past people have said. And it's a little bit more transparency as to what you're getting.
Yeah, definitely. I did use like Fiverr about 2 weeks ago, basically just to have a mascot icon drawn. I didn't want to like spend 3 or 4 hours like doing it myself. So yeah, I found someone like cheaper than my hourly rate.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, just make sure you extend the cost over to the client, so that way you're profitable. Yeah, Fiverr has some pretty good talent there, and whether it's Fiverr or Upwork or different freelancer sites like that, you could find decent people that have good ratings. And then it's a matter of just testing them out, and then you'll find someone that you like. And then if it's something that you consistently have to do, like, man, we're doing a lot of websites, then I would consider partnering with somebody or hiring an employee to do web design for you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Click subscribe if you like that video, you want to see more content. And if you are a creative entrepreneur and you want to grow your business, check out agency.butlerbranding.com and you'll learn for free the 5 things we've learned to grow, manage, and scale Butler Branding.